live every night throughout the last leg in Paris with the brilliant Adam Hills, Alex Brooker and Josh Widdicombe.
All right, gentlemen, here they are.
Hello.
Okay, Vassos, let's go.
Yeah. We could just say, well, you're going to have fun, aren't you?
And then we'll leave and you carry on for the next hour.
I can see what songs are coming up, so I can cue them in whenever I want.
No need for music when you three guys are in the house.
I'm actually not sure what my job is here this morning, because normally I'm the responsible one trying to hold it all together, but that's your job, so
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I've got nothing to do.
I'll leave and you crack on.
Yeah, sure. Yep, happily.
I'm still jet-lagged. I could do with getting home a little bit earlier.
Oh, okay, I've got this. All right, I'll take over. So, Josh, Alex, what are you most looking forward to at the Paralympics?
Yes!
Am I meant to answer that?
Yeah,
all right. What am I most looking forward to? It's sad, isn't it, when we're doing our own promo to each other? You feel like...
I like it. It's the way forward.
Well, let's point out what's
The Chris Evans Breakfast Show, where guests interview themselves, and he goes home.
I'm looking forward to going to Paris for 2 weeks. I didn't really realise it started next Wednesday until you said. Do you know what I mean? It's crept up on us.
You know you could have done that before.
You what?
Go to Paris for 2 weeks.
I know, but this way, I'm covering my costs. No, I'm taking my family for the first 4 days.
Nice.
We're doing the Eiffel Tower. I always lean back too much here, don't I? It's because it's such a relaxing kind of...
It can be too relaxed.
And then the Paralympics starts. It's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because you just watch the Olympics and you're like, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be, I'm going to be able to go to whatever I want within reason, because obviously it is a job which we're getting paid for, so we have to take it seriously.
Yeah, we'll talk about the level of passage you've got in a moment or two. How are you going to divvy up the tasks?
Well,
I mean, there's a set of golf clubs in here that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
That I think Alex should talk about.
Well, one of the things that we're doing, first of all, is today me and Josh are going to play golf. They're trying to get golf into the Paralympics, so we've got a set of golf clubs. I think it was quite odd walking into the building, by the way, going past London Bridge, walking in with a set of golf clubs, and people were looking at me as if to go, do you think he doesn't know? It was kind of, they were looking at my hands and looking at the clubs and going, are you sure he knows? He looks like he does.
We're on the radio. People may not have seen you before, so what are you alluding to here?
So I've got, my arms are... what you'd call, I'd say, on the short side, would you call them?
I'd say you wouldn't call them that. That would be very awkward.
Yeah, and I've got
Officially, we are known in Paralympic terms as les autres, which means the others.
Yeah,
because there's no real word for us.
Yeah, it's so weird having to do. I've never thought about describing myself before.
Right,
this is like my PIP assessment.
So you are physically challenged. You're physically challenged.
Physically challenged.
Both arms,
got
leg.
Both arms. Got the leg double part.
Can I just say that the clubs don't look like they've seen much action?
No, they've seen no. They don't. They saw a bit on Friday. They've not been
cleaned by any kind of dutiful caddy yet, because I don't think they've been used.
They saw a little bit on Friday up in Huddersfield. Yeah, I had a little go out on them on Friday.
Especially adapted.
By the way, all my friends, it's an unbelievably frustrating game. All my friends have always said
breaking news.
I always thought, why do you do this? If you all moan about it, why are you doing this? You don't seem to enjoy this. But then I got bang into it. But there was a thing where there was a moment where I was like, I'm getting this. Getting this. Then the very next thing, I just shank it. And I'm like, it's so frustrating.
It is frustrating. Golf's really interesting because it's a static ball. So it's your choice. They say that philosophically about golf. It's your choice. It's not a ball coming towards you like in tennis or football or volleyball. Yeah. It's a static ball. You can walk up to it. You can address it. You can write to it. You can romance it. But you don't have to hit it. So that's up to you. Because it's only if you try and hit it, it will let the world know its relationship with you. And your talent.
This is beautiful, can I just say?
Well, because I love golf. I've always played golf. Yeah.
Well, I think this comes down to a thing that has happened for the last 12 years we've been doing this show, which is as much as we're covering the Paralympics, Hilsey and Brooker both think maybe next time I'll be competing.
Yeah.
That's genuinely what this is all about. Really.
Based on Friday, I ain't going to be competing in golf.
But you have got qualification skin in the game, haven't you?
Well, I've been playing para-standing tennis for the last year and a half, which is tennis for people with disabilities who aren't in wheelchairs. And we're pushing for that for the Paralympics. And I've worked it out that we could get it into the Paralympics in 2032 in Brisbane. I'll be 62. My doubles partner will be 38. I still think there's a chance at this.
62. We're the same age, aren't we?
I think so. What are you?
58.
Oh, I'm 54.
Oh, sorry. So then we're not. That'd be different, wouldn't it? Because it's Los Angeles next, isn't it?
Yes,
Sorry.
yeah.
You've skipped.
I
an
can't.
Olympics.
Yeah, I can't do Los Angeles. I'd have to go 2030.
Too busy.
Why can't you do Los Angeles? Have you got something booked in? What's going on? Sorry, guys, I'm not available for Los Angeles.
You've got to keep the last leg going just so you can carry on with these.
Exactly. I was a little disappointed when it came up at Brisbane 32. I'm like, I'm looking forward to Los Angeles if we get to go there.
Of course you will.
Brisbane 32, the time difference, Hills, I can't be bothered.
The idea of Hills competing in the day and coming to the show knackered in the evening as a 62-year-old man fills me with so much joy. It feels like something that we should all aim.
I will be hosting the show in full Paralympic kit, like ray gun breakdancing. That's what it is.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, thank God you brought Reagan up because. Let's just reflect on what's gone by. The soft launch of the Paralympics, which is apparently something called the Olympics. Give us your highlights from that, first of all, you had.
Oh, absolutely.
As an Aussie.
Reagan, the Australian breakdancer.
So again, for people who don't know, who've just landed from another planet.
Okay, so breakdancing was in the Olympics for the first time ever. Breaking. We had an Australian representative who is a 36-year-old university lecturer with a PhD in breaking and its cultural ramifications. She busted out. She was our Eddie the Eagle. That's the best way of putting it. She busted out.
There'll be a movie. There'll be a movie.
Oh, there must. If Rebel Wilson hasn't already signed up.
We knew what she was up to. Yeah, clearly.
No one's making a movie about someone who does fine. That's what you got to do. You've got to be one end or the other.
If people can watch this online. There's a little kangaroo hop at the beginning. There was a weird lean back with one leg up in the air. There was kind of lay on the floor and touch your toes like.
Would she have qualified for the Paralympics with that region? That's the question.
I tell you what, breaking in the Paralympics, that's a whole new game, isn't it? The amount of prosthetics that would be flying off.
Literally breaking.
I mean, you've had a lot of fun in the past and will again this time around with the different categories in the Paralympics because it can be confusing to say the least, can't it?
Yeah, and especially what I find really fascinating is in the swimming. A lot of the categories, it's not about what your disability is, it's about how restricted you are. So you might get someone who's short-statured racing against someone with no arms, racing against someone with no legs, and you think, well, how is that a fair playing field?
Yeah.
And yet it'll be really competitive when it gets to the end.
Of course.
All three of them will be up on the podium. So it's kind of a fascinating, I've said it before, but when I've walked through the athletes' village for the first time, even with a prosthetic, we never see that many disabled people in a room together. So we're freaked out. Do you know what I mean? Part of me was thinking, this is beautiful. And another part was thinking, oh my God, it looks like the cantina scene from Star Wars. It's amazing.
It's awful being a minority as a white, able-bodied male. I can tell you, Chris.
God, you know what? I forgot that for a moment. You're absolutely right.
Do you know what? It's really difficult, and I'm glad I'm there representing us white, able-bodied males. We need representation.
Do you feel a bit coyed in the corner?
I just feel I'm speaking for all of us. I'm speaking for you.
If you can see it, you can be it.
Exactly. I'm glad I'm there on screen, letting people know that we can achieve.
I love the idea at the Paralympics. Everyone just stares at Josh because he looks different.
I actually get better parking. That's the way it works. I'm the only one that has. There's a lot of competition, but I'm fine.
And your toilets are always free.
My toilets are always free.
He's got a special parking spot. There's nothing wrong with him. That's why he's got the special parking spot.
But it's
C'est une plaque bleue. Oui.
Do you know what? I really need to brush up on my French because
that's blue plaque.
I know, yeah, no, but it took me 3 or 4 seconds.
I've not done French for a long time, but even I got that.
No, I know, but it takes me so long to.
By the way, blue plaque means you're dead. I meant blue certificate.
Blue. I'd take a blue plaque at this stage in the game.
Yeah, so would I. Jeez, I'd deal on that now, wouldn't you?
What have you got to do to get a blue plaque, Chris? Surely
Die. And leave.
Okay.
Leave and die. Whatever.
Don't do either.
Okay, I won't. Crack on.
Okay. I mean, that's a flex, though, pulling up to a parking space with a blue plaque in the front.
Yeah. I was forewarned that you would arrive with a full-on mullet. You sort of have, but you sort of haven't.
I got my hair cut yesterday.
Tell us why.
I thought, well, because I needed a haircut. But
No.
But I thought, if I'm going to support Australia during these Paralympics, which I am, then I'm gonna try and sculpt it into a mullet.
Right.
So I've got a week away till the games. It's a mini mullet.
I see.
If I turn around,
It's short on the side, but they didn't have enough to work with at the top to get it as a full mullet.
It's so weird looking at you now because here it's normal heels. You turn around, breakdown heels.
Yeah. Yes.
I love it.
A moulet.
So the mullet, you're all sports fans. The mullet is back, isn't it?
It's big back,
Not just in
isn't it?
Australia, it has to be said. It's been hijacked, really. In the Euros,
I just saw one of them in reception. I just saw a mullet in reception. I thought, I was thinking him and Hills are going to kind of, like...
I just saw one of them in
I
reception.
thought, I saw a mullet.
Where are the rest?
Yeah. But I thought him and Hills, like Beetle drivers when they acknowledge each other.
Yes,
I
yes.
thought you'd have to kind of... Right?
Isn't that great? Land Rover drivers do it. VW camper van drivers do it, unless you're like in Devon or Cornwall, where their arms are tired because it happens all the time. I love it when that happens, don't you?
I do it with able-bodied people at the Paralympics.
Well, you can for a start.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, if it were an option.
If it were an option.
Right. So what else? So I mean, I can tell you're sort of D-Mob happy here, aren't you? You're ready to go.
We're totally ready to go.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm filming a surfing video tomorrow with Chris McCausland.
This is what we're hearing.
Who is blind.
Yeah.
So I have absolutely no idea how he's going to know when the wave's coming. How that's going to work.
How'd you go about it then? Are you stood up without your leg on? Or have you got a water leg?
I'm going to wear my running blade because it's apparently waterproof. But I'm also going to try without because I can.
What about this word apparently? Why don't we get that checked out first?
I don't know. What I would say is, from what I know of water with these legs, don't wear your best one.
Yeah.
Don't.
Apparently, it's what it said. It said on the box.
I presumed you'd take your leg off and put your wallet and keys in it when you went surfing.
I do, actually. If I'm at the beach, I put my wallet and keys in my prosthetic because I think if any thief has the gall to actually reach into someone's prosthetic leg to steal something, fair play to them. You can have my keys and wallet. If you're willing to do that publicly.
That is quite a high bar of risk, isn't it? So you're going to go surfing? Where are you going to go surfing?
So surfing in Bristol.
The Wave?
The Wave.
Oh, yeah,
The Wave, the home of surfing.
Yeah, you can go and stay there for the weekend. In Cabot's got lodges and things.
Yeah, I'm staying there tonight, actually.
Well, you're gonna
staying there
such
tonight, surfing first thing tomorrow morning.
We've tried to book in there loads of times, can't get in. It's busy all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have to do it. We have to start filming at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning before the general public are allowed in, because apparently you can't have the public around a blind guy and a guy with one leg who are surfing at the same time.
So that is going to be interesting.
Actually, you know what would be great?
Yes.
Walking out of the surfing with one leg, and people will be like, I mean, I didn't expect there to be a shark here.
Yeah, and holding your prosthetic up like it's the Olympic torch, going, it's waterproof.
Apparently.
They weren't lying. No, you can take it. They were apparently away. Yeah. Apparently off, my friends.
Well, and also, every time I'm here, we talk about one of my kids' books.
Yes.
I've got a new one out that's set at the Paralympics. Rockstar Detectives Trouble at the Track. So I've tried.
Is that out now?
It's out now. It's just come out in the last couple of weeks.
But crucially, he's due to legal reasons, he's not allowed to promote it on our Paralympics coverage, which I find hilarious.
Now, we used to face the same issues at Radio 2.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the people on the air there would have books out from time to time.
Mm.
And you weren't allowed to talk about it on your own show. But, for example, I went on Steve Wright's show to talk about my book.
Right.
So I think you could ask Adam about his book.
I'll ask
he
him
just
about
couldn't
it.
talk about it.
Yeah.
So we could do like Paralympic book review every night.
Just
What have we
featuring
got today?
exclusively Adam's children's books. Or just the one that's out now.
I'm totally in your hands on this one.
Yeah, well, let's see what kind of money changes hands.
So, I mean, it's pretty high bar because we know the most iconic image ever now in sport is the Brazilian surf shot.
The Brazilian one?
Do you know? Oh, Adam, you got to get up to speed on this one.
Yeah.
So the Brazilian surfer,
Yeah.
who have you seen it?
That photo.
The photo?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to do your own version of that as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Get on with
except
that.
it won't be a surfboard, like, beside me. It'll just be the leg. Yeah,
It doesn't matter. You got it. You will have your own flavour of that photo.
Oh, that's great. I hadn't even thought of that. Yes, I'm
do it.
definitely going to try and recreate
You got to
that.
do it. So golf today for you two, both of you.
Yeah, I feel like
we go. So it's disabled golf. So I'm Alex's caddy, and then we've got Josh Pugh, who's partially sighted, comedian, but plays for the England men's partially sighted football team, and Maisie Adam, who's his able-bodied partner.
Excellent.
And then we go out there, and we've got great guests. It's going to be on. I think it's on every night but one,
Right.
Because of French labour laws, because we're not allowed to work 7 days in a row.
I love that.
Isn't that amazing?
In auctions, right? Car auctions in France, right? Only a French person is allowed to hammer down the gavel.
No,
Yeah.
really?
And so sometimes they have sort of like Bonhams will have an auction in Paris, or there'll be various auctions around France to do with English classic car auction companies.
Yeah.
And obviously when they're here, they've got the gavel in the hand, and it's part of their theatre, isn't it? It's part of their timing. It's like Neil Sedaka not playing his own piano, and they have a French person, and their only job is to hammer down the gavel.
That is amazing.
You gotta love the French
I love
labour
it.
laws. Yeah, I love
So
France and its labour laws.
We've got a last leg WhatsApp group, which is obviously for just general work stuff, like, oh, here's a clip, blah blah blah. We're not allowed to send a WhatsApp before 1:30 p.m.
Is that right?
That group is not allowed to be active
In
before
France?
1:30 p.m. in France on that group.
And look at us
exciting.
complaining.
No, I'm most excited about the French labour laws. I just can't wait to be a part of it.
we get a day off in the middle.
We get a day off in the middle.
Disney.
No.
Although the disabled queue's going to be longer though, isn't it? Normally you walk straight to the front of the ride. I ain't queuing up.
Nah, the worst day ever to go to Disney.
Yeah, all right. We'll think of something else to do.
That is interesting, isn't it? But I suppose the majority of people, though, won't be disabled because it's all the support staff, it's the spectators. And
Of course, all the disabled people will probably be at the games.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like everyone at Disney will be able-bodied, or the families of people who are at the games. No, it's a really good point.
we were watching The World's Strongest Man in America last week, which is a great show.
I
isn't
love
it?
World's
It's the best
Strongest
show.
Man. I
It's
love
the
it.
best show. What's
So
not to
good.
like about that show?
Yeah.
And in the audience, because it was an outdoor event, it was in America, sunny, and in the audience were blokes who looked a bit like the blokes taking part, but just a bit like,
yeah.
you know, they had an affinity with them for
Yeah,
various
yeah.
different reasons, and they looked like they were sort of the brother that didn't do the.
Yeah.
He joined the gym, but he didn't go so
Yeah.
much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously, sport, like attracts like. What is the disabled following like for the disabled Olympics?
That's a really good point. I think they're probably you're right, and it is that thing we were saying before. If you can see it, you can be it.
Right.
So there'll be loads of kids that want to be Paralympians that are following their heroes, that are kind of wanting to be there at the games. So yeah, there's a little bit of that. There's probably a bigger percentage. I mean, look,
You get a lot of people who are competing. I mean, you see it now in the Olympics, as you saw it last time as well. So many people will say, I watched London 2012. Or even I watched Rio 2016 now.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that made them want to be Paralympians. And I think if you're a disabled person at home, it is the biggest kind of event in the disabled calendar.
I would say-
Well, I don't know. You two have obviously got the disabled calendar. I don't get a copy of it,
I want you to tell us more about the disabled calendar, Josh. Please tell us. What's the picture for December?
Are you
No, it's a stocking with
are
a
you
pathetic leg in it.
able-splaining?
I'm able-splaining, yeah.
Able-splaining.
Yeah.
I built a career on able-splaining, I think.
The disabled calendar every month is February because it's missing a few bits.
It's already underway.
Have you still? Do you have all this ready to go?
They're all up there in
Yeah,
a
of
row.
course they are.
The mullet's bringing the best out in him.
So I live in Marlow, right? And Marlow has this sign on the bridge of the places it's twinned with, and underneath it is another plaque. It's a bronze plaque. It says "Home of the Paralympics."
Oh.
What do you know of Marlow and the Paralympics? Because
Well, the only thing I know about Marlow is obviously you live there, and Tom Kerridge.
yeah, no, there's a few people.
That's
lots of
all
people live
I've
there.
got. That's all I've got. I
But it
didn't
does
know
say
it was
says
the
home of the Paralympics,
Paralympics.
and I've never understood. I should have found out a bit more before I talked about it. I just
But
wondered
you
if you.
presumed we'd know as the expert, so it's our fault in a way.
Is it anywhere near Stoke Mandeville?
No.
Because that was the hospital where the first
kind
of games were held?
Don't know.
I think that there's a copyright claim that's got to go in against Stoke Mandeville because they're definitely claiming they're the home of the Paralympics.
Stoke Mandeville claim it, and that's why at London 2012 the mascots were Wenlock, who was the Olympic mascot, and Mandeville was the Paralympic mascot.
Nana from Cardiff. Hello, Chris. Can you ask Alex about his love for Justin Timberlake and seeing him recently in concert?
I've been to see Justin Timberlake over the years. This last couple of weeks ago I went, and it was like my 9th time I've been to see him. I love him. And we were on this front row of this bar, me and my wife, and I knew he'd be doing some songs on the stage nearby. I didn't think he was going to walk around by the bar, and he walked around. And obviously, I'd say it's a time in my life where I've realised that having different hands paid off the most, because mine definitely stood out. So as he's gone round, he's seen mine.
I'd say your hands paid off the most at the Channel 4 audition, but that's just me.
And that. And he shook my hand, and he looked at me, and I think I said, I love you so much.
Oh, good for you. Great.
You meet your heroes, you can act cool, or you can just
ask them to marry you.
I lost my mind. I did this giggle. My wife was actually filming it at the time because she was filming him being that close. And then he comes round, so she got it on camera.
Brilliant.
And I did this laugh, which I've never done before. And I don't know if I'll ever do again. But it was just sheer giddiness. One of the great moments of my life.
Tell us about your love for Justin Timberlake. So when did it start? How come?
Do you know what?
Why
I
do
think
you
it
hate
was
Britney Spears?
Well, let's not find that out. I've got no issues. You, with your disabled calendar. Don't stop deflecting onto me.
Projection. Which he is renowned for.
No, do you know what? I've just always loved the music. I've always gone to the gigs. He's really good live.
You can't take it away from him.
Yeah, I just absolutely love it. It's so funny going there and everyone kind of saying to me, "Oh, you've been dragged along to this, then, have you?" Like other men there, and I'm like, no. Like, I get really offended by it. Like, no, I haven't actually. Yeah.
All right, Josh Howard from Southampton. Hello, Howard. Good morning. Please say hi to Josh Widdicombe on air from me. He supported the Stop the Shadows campaign earlier this year. I staged at Hard Rock Cafe, and he was incredible.
That was a fun night. That was. Here's a bill for you. Neil Morrissey, me, Mel Gidroy, the Kooks.
Wow.
2 of the In-Betweeners. There was something for everyone. There was something for everyone.
The In-Betweeners, I thought the In-Betweeners couldn't get more generic as a title, but 2 of the In-Betweeners. That's what they should have called it.
It was James Buckley.
Well, we were going to call it the In-Betweeners, but 2 of the
Joe
In-Betweeners.
Thomas, just for the record.
Adam says, anyhow, Chris, I love the Last Leg Boys. What a wheeze listening to these marvellous guys. Adam Hills is so funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
Who was that sent in by Adam?
No, by Val. Lav backwards if you want to get one.
Adam watched me meet a hero on Sunday, and I didn't play it cool at all either.
What happened? Tell us the story.
So we were at the 100. We got invited separately to the 100. You know the 100, the cricket?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, and then we were in the box, and you found out, I'd say this is the most exciting person I've ever met, Mick Jagger.
Oh, it doesn't really get any bigger than Mick
Doesn't
Jagger.
really get any bigger. Possibly Paul McCartney is the only way.
Yeah, I'd say they're the same.
Yeah, I'd say they're the same. I said that to Mick and he disagreed. No, but I couldn't sit down. The moment he came into the box, Mick Jagger, my heart was thumping.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. Hilsey was just watching me going, this is pathetic.
It was hilarious. Josh had no idea what to do with himself. He didn't know where to look. And you shamelessly used your daughter to get a photo with
I did. I was like, could you take a photo of my 6-year-old daughter who has no idea why you want to know who you are?
Yeah.
She's been singing Gimme Shelter all morning.
And it's funny, isn't it? Because Jagger, you feel ill at ease when you're in his company because he's Mick Jagger, not because of anything he does. And then if he deigns to talk to you, you feel more ill at ease. It doesn't get any better. It actually gets worse.
But you know what? I've met some super famous people who feel a bit kind of closed off because understandably their life is so separate from you, if you know what I mean. But he was In the 45 seconds I spoke to him, he was a laugh.
No, he's
And
cool.
in fact, Josh turned away from the photo, looked at me and went, I made him laugh.
I said to him, Mick, when I was 7, I came and watched you on a family trip at Wembley, and it was the night England lost to West Germany in the 1990 World Cup semi-final. And he had the politeness to pretend he remembered.
That's so nice.
I've got huge respect for him.
You know that about that exchange between Jagger and David Bowie.
No.
So David Bowie, obviously David Bowie, because there's Paul McCartney, there's Mick Jagger, and then there's David Bowie.
Yeah.
And so Bowie says, and they'd known each other for ages, and Bowie says to Mick about his wrinkles. He says how the wrinkles, around his eyes, and he said to Jagger replied to Bowie, he said, they're not wrinkles, they're laughter lines. And Bowie said, "There's nothing that's that funny." It's online. It's very.
David Bowie, to stop being recognised, would always carry a Greek newspaper, so that if anyone saw him, so he'd get on the tube with a Greek newspaper, so that if anyone saw him, they'd be like, "Oh no, it can't be because he's."
Oh, that's amazing.
But why would he get on the tube in the first?
Because he wanted to, because it's quicker sometimes.
Right.
So and he lived in New York, didn't he? So he'd get on the subway or whatever because it's just quicker. And he was like, if I carry a Greek newspaper, no one comes up to me.
Bowie stories, good. I got a Bowie story. So
go on.
Bono said to me, "How crazy life can be," and we were talking about how crazy life can be, and I said, "How is it for you? Because you're Bono." I said, it still gets crazy. I said, craziest moment ever being Bono. Craziest moment ever, Chris, being Bono. David Bowie phones me up to ask me for advice on how to regain his mojo when it comes to writing songs, because he'd run out of songwriting juice. And he said, I couldn't believe David Bowie was phoning me up, because you're speaking about New York there.
Yeah.
The reason, Bono told me, that David Bowie moved to New York was a result of this phone call, because Bono said, David, where are you living? It was a rhetorical question, he knew. He said, well, I'm living in Switzerland. He said, well, there's your answer. And he literally sold his house that day and moved to New York so he could write about life again, which is probably always on the tube carrying the great Greek newspaper.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't think Bono went that far. Get on a tube, get on the subway, carry a Greek newspaper, try other newspapers. I don't know.
Don't do Spanish. People might think you could speak Spanish. They won't believe
Yes,
it.
none of that. Anyway, back to the Paralympics. That's why you're here, for heaven's sake. So you're going to be on every night, apart from the labour laws.
Apart from the day off.
Which is great, because, I mean, you're up to speed anyway. You're match fit. You've been together for 12 years. You have a certain rhythm to the way you do your show, but never better than night after night after night, because you get a different energy going, don't you?
Well, and the show is written literally on the day.
I know.
We have a skeleton script, and you go, okay, this could be the big story. This might be the big story. We have no idea.
And I'm not saying it writes itself, but it sort of meets you in the middle, doesn't it? That kind of show.
Oh no, it's better than that. Hillsy writes it.
I mean, believe me, we've already been texting each other after our first meeting every day going, we've had a result here.
So how does... Okay, that's interesting. So how does that work?
Okay,
Hillsy during the Paralympics has a lot more work than us. Normally, I'd say Hillsy does more because he's got to do the auto cue, but we have a lot more. But during the Paralympics, really, it's a lot of interviews, isn't it?
It is a lot of interviews, but often our script, this is what our script, people wonder how much is scripted on the last leg. So all of the stuff that I read off auto cue is written and I write it. And then in the script, it'll just say discuss. And that's where I turn to Josh and Alex and go, what have you got?
Yeah.
And literally I have no idea what they've got until
What
they say
about
it
in
live on
brackets,
there.
disgust?
That's the reaction after our talk.
Could go either way. Disgust.
The interesting thing is we all trained to be sports journalists.
Yes.
That was our
I did not know that. I did not know that.
No,
I
you
had
don't.
no idea.
I didn't know that really, and for a good 5
you were
years,
one of them.
I was one of them. I knew me.
All right. Well, I
for a
realised
few-
these two were, but myself.
Yeah, I was, but I wasn't really. I was a sub editor I was bad.
Sorry, you were saying.
So that was our background. Was we all wanted to be sports journalists. So when we kind of ended up together covering sport that we absolutely love. Brilliant. And the great thing is, no one else covers the Paralympics, so no one can tell whether we're doing a good job. Who else is making jokes about disability sport?
Yeah.
No one's going to go, well, those guys are much funnier.
But other countries other territories, as they say in telly, must have seen you doing this thing. In why don't we have our own version of that? Have people tried?
I will tell you one of my favourite moments in Rio in 2016, because the next games were in Tokyo. So in 2016, our producer Ben Wicks at the time, I saw him taking a delegation of Japanese TV producers around our studio with a translator. So he would say something, and then the translator would translate.
We know what translators do.
Okay, yeah, right.
I know I'm a DJ, but I'm not that stupid.
I literally translated what a translator is. And at one point, I was walking through the studio. I just heard him say the sentence, I mean, it looks like they're making fun of disabled people, but they're really not. And I thought, okay, Tokyo are not going to adopt this.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, we're not getting format rights around the world.
But genuinely, other countries, like even the Brazilians, when they had the games, went, okay, the last leg would not work in Brazil. There is not the kind of acceptance or the sense of humour around disability that Britain has.
I think the other thing which I think has always helped us is it's a massive celebration of the sport, isn't it? And of the achievement. So that's what I loved when I first went in to do it, is it was a sports show. It was a funny sports show. We'd go and show the highlights and stuff like that. And I think because we're championing the people that are the athletes involved so much, it enables us to have some of the laugh at the sillier moments.
There has to be the love first.
Yeah, 100%. If we just went straight in and go, hey, do you want to see a blind guy missing a triple jump pit? I'm not sure it would have flown if we hadn't have
TikTok. I don't think you'd clear it with the Channel 4 lawyers. But yeah, I think it's a positivity, because I remember the first meeting I had about it, where it was like, do you want to do this job for 10 days? And I was like, yeah, no one's going to watch it. It was on E4 at that point.
This is the Paralympics.
Yeah,
right.
They were like, do you want to do this job? It was like 11 p.m. on E4, it was planned. I was like, free tickets to the Paralympics, no one will watch it, what a win. And now it's basically the first thing in my obituary. It'll be on my blue plaque.
But it didn't predate the last leg, did it? The Paralympics coverage, last leg coverage.
Yeah, that's how it came together.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's your Simpsons moment, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. So
I didn't know this.
Originally,
I didn't know any of this.
In London 2012, it was called The Last Leg with Adam Hills.
Now I'm remembering it as you're saying it.
And then the first episode, we were struggling for guests, so we got Alex on, and then Josh was...
Yes.
What, via the audition or just as a...
So I went to the London 2012 Paralympics. I was employed by Channel 4 to be a journalist. So my first bit on television for Channel 4 was the opening ceremony, interviewing the then Prime Minister David Cameron. Right. And I was meant to be covering the five-a-side blind football and the seven-a-side cerebral palsy football. And I was just put on last leg on the very first show, so people would know who I was for when I'm out and about later that week reporting for them. So on the very first show, me and Josh actually swap out, don't we? It's me.
I wasn't
me
on the first part. I just came in part 2,
Yeah,
and I came out.
Josh just did the medal table in part 2, and then the next day the channel sent someone down who went, "Okay, it's the three of you together," and so. I'm fine with the fact that the last leg with Adam Hills became actually it's all three of you.
Yeah, but you did. That's all right, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
And it puts food on the kids' table. And
yeah. I mean, when I came in the next day and they were like, "So you." I said, have I done something wrong? Because they're like, you're taking off all reporting duties. I was meant to be doing something. They're like, you're not going to doing any of the football now. You're going to be doing this show with Adam and Josh.
That's how you get a hit show.
Yeah.
You know, that's like, hang on a minute. That bit works. Yeah, but it's only been on for an hour. It doesn't matter. Change it now. Change it all now. That's where the gold is. Great.
Exactly. It's like, I think that was a huge advantage for us that it was never meant to be.
Who was in charge then?
So Jay Hunt was running Channel 4, and Saida Erzali, who now runs BBC One, she was brought in as like, she was kind of parachuted in as like, and genuinely when she turned up we thought we'd done something wrong, but it's because they thought, we were like, oh my God, it's so bad that Channel 4 have had to send someone down. But it was actually that they were like, there's something here about this.
And there is, I often say we've got like a 3-part harmony of comedy voices. You've got the kind of older, like Australian sunny voice, and then you've got the kind of world weary West Country Josh voice, and then you've got the happy innocent puppy dog voice.
It's true.
I could have gone the other way then. I enjoyed that.
Can't argue with that.
But I think that's the thing with these things. Like a lot of it is chance and happenstance, and like the things with these shows is that often the ones that work the best. It is like a kind of sitcom, isn't it? It's like all the different characters.
Yeah,
like even like Have I Got News for You? It's like working class Paul Merton, and then kind of Ian Hislop, who's the Oxbridge guy.
Yeah,
or
and it was like Steve Merchant, Ricky Gervais, and
Carl Pilkington.
Carl Pilkington,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
the same. And 3 is the magic number.
Yeah.
Absolutely it is. Yeah. I hosted a TV show in Australia, and there were myself and 2 team captains. And I remember when Channel 4 asked us to make the last leg a regular thing, and I remember saying to these boys, I've had this chemistry once before, and we did nearly 300 episodes in Australia. So this kind of thing doesn't happen all the time. Brilliant. So let's milk it.
I was at the start of my career, so I thought there'll be loads of these coming along for me. Here I still am.
I was just so happy every day I got to be on telly again. Like another
There you
Friday
go.
had
You've
come
just
along.
spoken to your 3 characters in those last 3 comments.
And I was just like, this is mint.
Oh God, it's great to see you. You got me really up for this. I'm so
it's
excited.
great.
We are
It's gonna be
tuning
fun.
in. We are tuning
Well, and
in.
the great thing about these games as well, Rio was a weird time zone. So is Tokyo. This is the first game since London, since 2012, that's pretty much on the same time zone. So you're going to be able to watch all the events all day, watch the finals at night. We're going to have people receiving gold medals at 8 o'clock at night in the stadium, in the Stade de France, and then coming on our show 2 hours later.
Brilliant.
So this is the first time since 2012
That's
that we've
cool.
all been
real comeback
on the
for
right
them.
time zone, yeah.
Well,
They
good
won't
luck.
want to be there. They'll want to be in the pub, but they'll have to come to our show.
Well, yeah, bon chance,
Merci.
as they say. Adam, Alex and Josh will also host the National Lottery's Paralympics GB homecoming event at the Utilita Arena in Birmingham on the 12th of September to welcome back the athletes from the Games. Tickets are free to National Lottery players, and from the expressions on the faces, this is the first they've heard of it.
No, I knew that.
I didn't know it was Birmingham.
I didn't know it was in Birmingham.
Well,
I mean, I'm fine with it.
it is.
It is. It's in Birmingham. I know. I knew it was in
Are
Birmingham.
you fine with it?
Yeah, I'm absolutely fine
Okay,
with
you
it. I
need to
love
tell
it.
your face.
It's where they filmed the original Gladiators.
And more importantly, it's where I met Justin Timberlake.
And Justin, if you're listening, going to recreate that moment.
What goes around comes around.
Let's get to double figures.
That's lovely.
Let's make it 10. 10 till we do it again. Guys, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
That was absolutely
What a
brilliant.
pleasure.
Once again, what day is it? 28th of August?
28th of
Wednesday,
August.
28th of August.
Right until
9th it's 10:30 the first one because we're on after the opening ceremony, which hopefully 2 of us will be a part of.
All right, great. Just the 2?
Well, one of us has got to host the show.
Okay. Great. Right. That's Adam then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're never sending heels out.
Virgin Radio.